Hello everyone, I'm alive and I'm growing plant babies. I'm so sorry I was gone. I was MIA for a little over a month, but life got a bit real. Stay tuned. Sometime this weekend I plan on recording and editing and uploading a video going more into detail about how shitty May was for us, but how things worked out. Things worked out, things are no longer shitty, things are actually kind of great. So this is our backyard of our little apartment. There's more apartment buildings that way, there's a Waffle House over there, there's a Bank of America that way, there's an Aldi grocery store across the street down that way, there's a Publix this way and about 3-minute walk from me. And a little bit down the road from that is a Kroger. So we are kind of like in the middle of a shopping residential kind of area. But I like this group of trees and having our own little patio here. It kind of feels closed off and nice and cozy, but there will be lots of traffic, so I'm sorry if the car sounds get annoying. But yeah, this is basically the backyard of our apartment building, and I just got done potting some wonderful plants because we signed the lease today. We renewed the lease today, a week or so late, almost 2 weeks after the lease was up, the first lease, but that's gonna be part of tomorrow's video or whenever I get it up. We renewed the lease. We are staying here for another year. And we recently repotted all of our house plants. So all of these pots used to be for our house plants, but these four here are just the regular terracotta pots, and then this is a big plastic one. But we wanted to switch over to some more like decorative style pots for inside, so we repotted the inside plants. We had all this extra soil left over and these pots out here, and we figured, well, now that we know we're going to be here for a while and that we won't have to move in July, let's get some plant babies. And so I got some herbs and a tomato plant, and I'll get into him later. But we got, this is called spicy oregano. Oh, is that going to focus? Hot spicy oregano. I don't know if this is going to focus at all. No, it's not going to, because I'm recording this on my phone. But this is hot and spicy oregano. I'm really excited about this. This is sweet mint, or hierba buena. And I got all these plants at a local garden store. You know, hashtag shop local. This is some lemon thyme, and I pinched off a leaf from this and kind of crushed it up in my hands and smelled it when I was at the store, and oh my god, it smells so good. This would go so well with fish, like white fish, because it does have that delicious thyme flavor, but the lemon is strong. It's so yummy. So that's why I ultimately decided to get this lemon thyme instead of just a regular thyme, which also smelled delicious, but the lemon thyme one. This is sweet basil, of course, and he's in a slightly larger pot. I hope it's big enough. This is my first time growing basil in a pot. I've grown it in a garden before, and I know the plants can get pretty huge, especially in this Georgia sun, but we'll see. And then this tomato is a hybrid, Bush Goliath hybrid tomato, and so apparently this type of tomato, according to the little description of it at the store, it will work in pots and it will produce tomatoes between 6 and 8 ounces each. And so we put him in the largest pot. And now I've grown tomatoes in the ground. I grew up gardening with my dad. We always had a vegetable garden growing up, and we grew everything: corn, beans, squash, watermelon, potatoes, onion. And there's our air conditioner kicking in, so that's more noise, I'm sorry. But anyway, we grew everything, including tomatoes. But I've never grown it in a pot, and one of my concerns was, I know tomatoes are kind of a needy plant, they need lots of nutrients, especially like magnesium and sulfur and calcium and all that fun stuff. So while I was at the local gardening store, I got this stuff, which the kid working there, he was so nice, he was so helpful. So he recommended this stuff. It's organic Biotone Starter by Espoma. I don't know if you can see the brand here. They have a YouTube channel actually. So they have little tips and tricks with how to use their products. So if you find this wherever you're at, I've heard good things about it. They produce all organic kind of fertilizers and potting mixes and all that kind of stuff. But the cool thing about this is that it has mycorrhizae. I don't know how to say that, but this stuff, like in addition to the healthy bacteria that they put in the mix, and also the minerals like calcium and magnesium and potassium and all that kind of fun stuff. I think, where is it? On the side here. Nitrogen, phosphate, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and then they also have, of course this is going to be blurry, but this whole list here of beneficial bacteria, because just like our gut, the soil, in order to be healthy, needs good beneficial bacteria. But this M word down here that I can't pronounce, that actually helps promote the growth of beneficial fungus that helps the development of roots. It helps the roots absorb minerals and stuff better, and it helps the roots really grow. He showed me at the front of the store they had two different pots with tomato plant. They had one with just regular soil and then one where they put this stuff in, and the roots were really developed. It looked really nice. So that has all the minerals and stuff we need. In this size pot, this is about a 14-inch diameter pot. Ideally for a tomato plant you want more like 16 to 18 inches, but we were working with what we had, so at least a 5-gallon bucket or a pot like that. I put 3/4 of a cup of this stuff and just stirred it in to the soil, so that will hopefully get this guy going. And then after a month or so, we got some Epsom salt. Got this at Walmart for about $3 or $4. You mix a tablespoon of this per gallon of water, and that will give it the magnesium and the sulfur that it needs. I also crushed 2 eggshells in a mortar and pestle and mixed that in with the soil when I planted him, so he's got a good amount of calcium, hopefully, between the eggshells and what's in here to get started. But you can also crush up eggshells and either dissolve it in water or vinegar, I believe, just like a very small amount of vinegar to help the extraction of the calcium from the eggshells, and mix that in or water it or like that. But the soil we used was kind of cool. Got this at Walmart. It's called Just Naturals, or Just Natural. They claim to be locally sourced. I don't know what local means. Like, is local like within the state of Georgia or just within the United States? I don't know, but it's organic, container and potting soil. But the cool thing is it has worm castings. Worm castings is just worm poop, because worms are very beneficial to the soil like bacteria, and so worm poop really adds more like nitrogen and more, it's like a gentle, very gentle organic fertilizer. So that's mixed with worm poop. Between this and the eggshells, hopefully that tomato plant will grow. All of these plants are in shade right now, but between 8 a.m. and about 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon, they're in direct sunlight here. So that's a good 6.5 hours of direct sunlight, which I know these two will especially need. And yeah, that's what I did today. I just wanted to throw this up here to let everybody know I'm still alive, and to be be on the lookout for a video coming this weekend. It might take me a few days. I plan on recording it tomorrow, which is Friday, June 7th, I believe, or 8th. Is today the 7th? I don't even know. But I had to buy a new computer during May because my 2011 MacBook Pro died, and it took us 2 weeks of just trial and error to figure out what was wrong with it. But we figured it out, and turns out the logic board is dead, and so for an older Mac, trying to find the part and replacing it and everything was just, it's too expensive. And like, for that money I could just go out and buy a really good new PC, which is what I did. I bought an HP. It has a touch screen, it has twice the memory that my MacBook did, and it should survive and get me through the dissertation process, which is really important because I don't want my computer to crash on me when I'm in the middle of writing that. So that being said, Windows 10 came on the computer, but Windows 10 doesn't support the old Microsoft video editing software anymore that came with like Windows 8 and stuff. So I had to like do some investigation and download a free video editing software. I think it's called Shotcut or something like that. If anybody has any suggestions for a better or easier video editing software for PCs, hit me up in the comments, because it's been a good 11 or 12 years since I've owned a PC, so I'm kind of having to relearn how to use them and how they work. So anyway, I have to learn how to use this new video editing software thing. So bear with me, but I am going to try to get a video up this weekend going more into detail about where I've been and what happened in May, and the water symbols that really came up all month. Definitely the element of water was all up in my face during the month of May. So lessons from water, be on the lookout for that video. But in the meantime, I have new plant babies and I'm so excited. I hope they grow, and I especially am looking forward to some juicy, delicious homegrown tomatoes. If you have any tips and tricks for growing tomatoes in pots, also hit me up in the comments below, because like I said, this is my first time growing a tomato in a pot. So I've grown them in the ground but never in a pot, so I'm hoping this works. I'm hoping, because we love us some tomatoes here. But anyhow, until next time, until later this weekend, many blessings. Bye!